Right, ignore the camera. Can I just ask what your name is? Because I don't think I've met you before.
Kenneth Daniell.
Kenneth Daniell.
Or Ken Daniell, I'd known as the Kenneth doesn't. I'm always listed down as Ken. Okay. Ken Daniell, yeah.
And do you mind if I ask when you were born, Ken?
1925.
And when did you...
I'm 88.
Okay, and when did you start at Fielding?
1940.
And what was your job?
Ordinary drawing office draftsman. I started to train as a draftsman, yeah.
And how long did you work at Fielding's for?
41 years, I think, yes.
Just missed out on the gold watch.
Oh, there was nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Dave was telling me about if you stayed for 50 years, maybe sometimes you got a golden watch.
Yeah.
No.
No.
So I've just got a couple of questions, if I may.
Yeah.
I hear you've got lots of stories, and some of your staff are out there, so you were the boss.
Well, I was in charge of the hydraulic valve section, and I finished up as a designer of the valve section then, yes. Yeah. And I had about 7 people under me. I finished up as that, but I came up through the drawing gradually, yes.
And did you start as an apprentice as well?
No, there was no apprenticeships. I just had to write a letter to the chief draftsman, and then I got employed by him then. That was when I was 15.
And how long did you train for?
And then you were allowed to go to, you worked in your indentures for 5 or 6 years till you're 21. And in the evenings you had to attend technical college 3 nights a week, through the week as well. So that was when you were there for 7 to 9 o'clock at night.
Sounds so like a lot of hard work.
With between 15 and 21, you wanted to be doing other things than going to tech. But you stuck that right through and got your higher national certificate in engineering.
So having that certificate, what do you think that meant? What did it mean to you?
It meant to me that then you could go on up the ladder, and it was in those days equivalent to getting into a uni, really. It was, the higher national certificate was sort of as high a grade as that, because they knew you'd done 5 years of this 3 nights a week. Yeah.
They knew you were committed to it.
Yeah.
Out of all the things that Fielding's made, and I've already learnt lots more tonight of different inventions, but what one do you think you were most proud of, or were you involved with one in particular that's got a really good memory?
I wasn't particularly one press. I did all the hydraulic valves and the pumps and all for driving the press. So I did a variety of hydraulic valves and things. So I didn't pick out one particular press, no.
So as a team, how did you all work as a team? What are your memories of being in the drawing office?
It was good fun, yes. We had lots of fun in the office, yeah.
I believe there were lots of practical jokes played at Fielding's. Can you remember any good ones?
The biggest one was our chief draftsman at the time was a Mr. Millington. And he had no hair, he was bald, and he sat right up at the other end of the office in a built-in, he had his own office as such, but all glass. And on the one particular day, it was a quite sunny day, and we played the mirror right up. We sat at the valve section was at the top end of the office, and we played the mirror onto his head. And he didn't suspect who it was or what was happening. So that was, I remember that incident.
And how did that end up, with a big red head?
Well, I think he came storming up, but of course the mirror was put out of the way by then, so I think he just left it. But that was rather funny.
And did you play any practical jokes? Because I believe once it was played on you, you played it onto
us. Oh yeah. There was a very good one with the mushrooms. In the garden in the house, I had a lawn and some mushrooms came up. And the fellow that lived in the country, Lionel Longley, who is dead now, but he said, bring one in, Ken, and I'll tell you whether it's a mushroom or a fungi or what. So I brought the mushroom in, and he nibbled a bit at it, and he'd gone for about 5 minutes, and he'd gone up into the toilets and put all red spots over his face, and he'd come walking back to the office, telling me this this wasn't a mushroom, it was something else. That was a joke played on him, but yeah, there was several things like that. Yeah.
What do you think's the best thing about Fielding and Platt? Was it the
camaraderie? Yes, was great, and I was blessed because I was quite a big sportsman too, and I played for the Fielding's rugby team, and then got picked for Gloucester, and went down and played on King's Home.
Tell me about the sports days that were so important.
They were good. Yeah, the drawing office always seemed to do quite well. Of course, with my abilities, which is a bit boastful, I know, but I won several of the races. But it was a lovely day, a sports day. And what was amusing, the drawing office was considered as meek and mild sort of people. But on the tug of war, we actually beat these great big hefty blokes in the works, which didn't go down very well. But we trained. We got on the rope, and the fellow running us trained us how to do this tug of war. Yeah. So those were good days. Yeah.
Must be very proud of winning against them.
And we had a good sports section on that ground. And we had big teams come and play us in rugby and all these other sports. Lovely ground it was. Yeah.
If you could choose one memory, what would you say would be your best memory looking back over your work life at Fielding?
I think possibly the opportunity of travelling abroad, which I only came from quite a smallish school and all. In those days you wouldn't have dreamed of travelling to America. I went to South Africa, Norway. I did most of the European countries, which gave me a great insight. I would have never been able to have gone on my own steam, really. That was quite an achievement. Yeah.
How old were you when you travelled abroad? Was it quite early in your career?
I was one of the youngest section leaders. I was quite young when I was made a section leader. Probably in my early 30s when I was travelling around, yes. Yeah.
I bet you had some amazing adventures.
Yes, great fun, great fun.
Having built everything together and the Fielding and Platt project, what do you think about the project?
Wonderful. Yeah. It is really wonderful to come to see it all, yes. And your name comes up quite frequently. Yeah. It must have been a lot of hard work. Yeah.
And what do you think the best bit is about doing a project like this?
I think it's showing people what this factory did for the city, really, because it was one of the most renowned factories in the city. Yeah. And I was quite privileged to start my work there, certainly.
And have you learnt anything new from coming and looking at different photos and hearing different people's stories?
Certain little items, yeah. I can't recall any really, but I've just seen somebody I haven't seen for years, and it's those sort of things, isn't it? Yeah.
It's quite nice when you recognise the face.
And it's nice because most of my section are here, so that the fellow that brought me in, yeah.
I think we need a staff photo of you and your boys again, and see if you can recreate the photograph.
Well, yes.
Oh, lovely. Thank you ever so much.
That's all right.
That's been really useful. So I'm glad that you've enjoyed the project, and you can go off and explore some more now.
I'm going on round, but yes.
Thank you. Can I just ask, are we okay to use this video on the website or archive it so that people can hear?
Yeah, no problem.
That's
no
fine.
problem.
Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate you coming in. Right. Now your job is to try and get someone else to come and see me.
Oh, right. You've probably had a lot, have you?
No, they won't come in and talk to me. I think I must be a bit scary. But
I wouldn't say that. I'm not one.